How's everybody doing this morning? It is August. Do you believe that? August. And we are here today with a brand new month to talk about a brand new theme. And it's meant for those who are here with me right now, watching and listening, and are curious about spiritual woo woo. So, welcome everyone. I'm so grateful that you're here. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday Talks at 10:30. This is a moment in time that was created several years ago to be the safe space for you to explore your spiritual path, to explore your questions that you may have. And we touch upon many subjects, from grief to connecting with your higher self, to connecting with loved ones on the other side, meditation. It's just that place where we can talk about a little bit of everything. And whether you are here with me live, or you are watching the replay, or maybe the blog, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to all the connecting family who is coming back. And for those of you that this is your first time here, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you found us. Put a 1 in the comments so that I can personally welcome you after the live. So for those of you who don't know me, I am spiritual healer, author, retreat facilitator, keynote speaker, and evidential medium Stacy Niedenthal. And I wear many woo-woo hats. And my passion has always been and will always be to meet you where you are at in your healing journey, or in your growth journey, or in just your path. Now this is a new month, so woo, let's welcome in August. And we're going to, in this month, we're going to talk about, I got excited because it's August. In this month, it's a new theme. So our discussion is going to be around personal power and soul purpose. We're going to focus on leadership and courage, authenticity, confidence, and focusing on your life purpose. You're not going to want to miss a week of this. And again, we have the recap on the blog, or you can rewatch it on YouTube or on Facebook. So today we are stepping into a conversation that is both an ancient one and one that's also very personal to me. I want to discuss the spiritual meaning of August and how this month opens a doorway into your soul purpose. It's always been a special month to me because this is the month of my birth. And August, for me, is the beginning of a new year around the sun for me. And I like to take time to reflect on the progress I've made through the year of 61 years and look at that progress and look at the adjustments that I've made and see where I can progress and make a difference for next year so that I can be the best that I can be when I turn 62 years old. Lord Jesus, 62, right? Where did that come from? But you know what? I figure that I'm only going to be this age for 1 year. It's a unique year for me. So why not be the best that I can be? So I want to begin this by telling you a story that happened to me a few years ago in early August. I was sitting outside in the evening looking into the fields of growing corn or alfalfa or whatever they were growing. And the sky was this deep summer blue, kind of like velvet. The cicadas were singing, there was a frog chirping in the background, and the air was so warm. But in that moment, everything felt suspended in time. It felt like it was paused. It was almost like the world was holding its breath, just for a moment. I remember feeling this quiet pressure inside of me. And it wasn't anxiety and it wasn't fear. It was more like truth. This truth had ripened inside of me and it was ready to be picked. And knowing that was bubbling up that I couldn't ignore anymore. And in that moment, I realized something. This month of my birth, August, doesn't just change the season, it changes us. It creates this threshold, just like the crops. It's this moment of ripening, a moment of clarity. It represents a time when the seeds that were planted earlier in the year begin to show us who we're becoming and what our soul is asking us to step into next. We feel this pull. So I want to talk about how this month carries this specific spiritual frequency. And when we begin to understand it, we can work with it instead of against it. This frequency, it's like this authentic fingerprint. This month has its own spiritual signature. It's unlike any other month. So, you may say, why are you saying that? So let's go deeper into the core explanation. August, everybody talks about the Lionsgate portal. What is that? What do I do with that? What does it mean? So the Lionsgate portal is August 8th, but it's already begun to open, and right around the 12th, I believe it is, of the month, it starts to close. So what does that mean? So the Lionsgate portal is a spiritual alignment that peaks every year on the 8th. It's only a few days away. It's when the sun in Leo aligns with the star Sirius and the earth. Spiritually, this alignment is seen as a movement or a moment of heightened intuition, accelerated things to manifest, a deep soul awakening. And it's funny, I was on the phone with Denise right before I went live, and I texted her right before I came in. And what we were talking about, I'm like, oh my God, she's at the Lionsgate. And I texted her and said, I think you need to listen to this because I feel like this talk is for you. So we're manifesting and we have this deep soul awakening. It's when we feel called, Denise, to step into our truth, to release our old identities and embody our soul purpose with courage. Now, I don't mean to call my buddy out, but it's funny, we just got off the phone and we were talking about certain things that this reminded me of. And I wrote this last night, not with her in mind, but good grief. How many of you feel like there is this pull or this tug right now around you? Put me in the comments. I'd love to know. So I want you, if you will, to imagine standing in the height of summer. It's August. The world is warm, it's golden, it's green, it's alive. The sun is in Leo, the sign of courage, heart, and self-expression. But above all, above us, the star Sirius is long associated with spiritual wisdom and higher consciousness rises in the sky. Oh, I got a couple me's. Yes, let's claim it. I love that. So for thousands of years, ancient cultures saw this moment as a gateway, a doorway, a cosmic opening. It's as if the universe suddenly pulls back the curtain and says, hey, come here, look. This is who you truly are. Feel that? Put I feel it. The Lion's Gate is that moment when the energy of the sun, which is your identity, and the energy of Sirius, which represents your soul, meet. And when they meet, something inside of us wakes up. This alarm goes off. People may feel this sudden clarity. Like I was saying, that it felt like the world kind of held its breath that moment. You hear people say, I got this intuitive download. We tend to release a lot of emotions. So emotional release. We get a surge of courage, a desire to step into your purpose. Now, the cool thing about it is, it's not subtle. You can't miss it. It's like this spiritual spotlight turns on. So let's go to the woo-woo side of it. So metaphorically, the Lion's Gate is like a cosmic sunrise. It's the moment when the light of your soul becomes impossible to ignore. Your inner lion, rah, your courage, your truth, your voice, they begin to roar. It's a portal, it's an opening that says, you, my friend, are done being small. You are done dimming your light. You are ready to become who you were meant to be. How many can, what do you want to call? How many people feel that? Are you done feeling small? Doing things for others and others taking advantage of that? Dimming your light, standing in the background? Who am I meant to be? You're saying, I'm ready. Now, for those of you who want a more practical explanation of the Lion's Gate, because sometimes it gets a little woo, the sun in Leo. What does the sun in Leo mean? Leo energy equals identity, courage, self-expression, and heart. Oh, I love when you guys are answering yes. So that's what the sun in Leo brings up. Identity, courage, self-expression, and heart. So there's 3 anchors. I don't know if I said that. So it's the sun in Leo. Then we have, and excuse me if I'm saying it wrong, I tried to find a different way to say it, but there's the heliacal rising of Sirius. So this is the rise of the sun. Sirius equals spiritual wisdom, higher consciousness, soul level truth. That's element number 2. Element number 3 is where the earth is in position with this alignment. So the earth equals embodiment, action, and physical reality. So when you have these 3 energies align, it makes sense that we experience heightened intuition, emotional clearing, increased creativity, clarity, and the courage to act. This is why people often make big decisions, big breakthroughs, or feel spiritually activated around August 8th. And if you've never noticed it, take some time to reflect back on some of the big decisions that you made last year. When did you make them? See if there's a pattern. See if it happened right around the beginning of August. So every year, around this time, around August 8th, I started to notice this shift in me. It's like a truth that I'd been avoiding suddenly becomes loud. This desire that I've been suppressing becomes undeniable. Like I can't get away from it. It keeps coming up to the surface. It keeps showing up. A part of me that's been quiet finally speaks. That's the Lion's Gate. It's that moment that your soul, your energy, taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, it's time. Now, whether it's the Lion's Gate for me, or it's the thought of being a year older, I like to think that it's a combination of both. I always find some sort of clarity in something I've been putting off. Sometimes it's the doing of something, of creating something, or the letting go. So I either put a plan in place to start it, or I have this knowing that this is not something I need to invest my energy in. But it's loud and I feel it. So let me tell you, I noticed that every year, and this was upon reflection, I noticed that every year in August, I felt kind of restless. It felt as if there was something within me that was trying to break free. I didn't know why. But one year during the Lion's Gate, and I believe it was about 3 years ago, might have been 4. Anyway, I had this thought, this vision, however you want to perceive it, of standing in this field of green grass, it almost felt golden. I keep saying about golden, but the way the sun hits the grass, sometimes it's sparkly. And the flowers were just unbelievably beautiful. And I heard this voice say to me, "You're not lost. You're becoming." And that voice, that thought, changed my life. It changed the way I looked at my job that had been draining me for years. You know what? It was longer than 4 years ago. Anyway, it matters, but it doesn't matter. And I began to really focus on writing a book. Well, it's kind of in the background, but my head knows my heart still hurts. And I began focusing on writing down, putting words on paper that had been swirling around in my head for years. I carved out this time to sit and write. And Jeff and I were actually traveling out west, and I would be the passenger, the co-pilot with my laptop, and I would write. He would go to sleep. I would sit up and I would write for a little while. I realized that when I carved out this time to write, I found the reason I wasn't writing was because I was living in fear. The fear of other people reading my thoughts felt very vulnerable. And I started to live with courage instead of caution, with the understanding that those who need to hear the words in the book will purchase the book, and those who don't, won't. The courage to be who I was all along, but I was afraid of what others might think. So the Lion's Gate is very much like that. It's this cosmic alignment, this shift into place that wakes us up. It reminds us that our soul didn't come here to be small or overlooked or not create the best life ever. So I'm asking you during this time of year, let's harvest this energy. Let's gather it instead of fighting with it. So here's what I would like you to visualize. If you want, close your eyes right now. I want you to imagine a field in the late summer. See it? The crops are tall and plentiful. It's abundance. The fruit is heavy, and the air smells sweet. Feel that? And here's what I want you to think as you see that and feel that. And you just know that the harvest isn't about gathering the crops. It's about the revelation that shows us what we've grown in our lives. It shows us what we've been nurturing. It shows us what is ready to be acknowledged. Sometimes that's beautiful. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. But it's always honest. So let's bring in this balance with fire and earth. This is the energy. So August sits between Leo and Virgo, fire and earth. Fire inspires us. Earth grounds us. Together they teach us how to turn inspiration into an embodied purpose. So it teaches us how to take a thought and create it. And I want you to think of a spark that becomes a flame. And then becoming this hearth of warmth. That's August. And the spark is inside of us. August reveals about our soul purpose is interesting. So let me explain soul purpose. It's different for everyone. It can change. It can adjust. And it's not wrong. In this month, this is one of those clear mirror moments for understanding it. Our soul purpose is not our job title. It's not a single mission. It's not the one thing you've meant to do. Your soul purpose is the expression of your higher truth. What are you good at? What comes naturally to you? What do you thrive with? That is that tug in your soul. That's that tug that wants you to move through the world with this chapter of your life. There was a gentleman I talked to a long time ago who spent years searching for your soul purpose. Tried different careers, different hobbies, different spiritual practices, and nothing felt right. And I remember the way his face looked when he was explaining this to me. And then, during the Lionsgate, he took a long walk in the woods. He sat by a stream, and he cried. It wasn't because he was sad, but he was frustrated, and he was tired of trying to figure it out. And he heard, or he felt, this intuitive whisper that said to him, your purpose is not something that you find. It's something that you become. And that was his turning point. That was that spiritual spotlight that came on. Why was he searching for something that was already within him? That's what this moment in time mirrors and reflects and speaks. This spotlight shows you what's been authentic in your life. Who are you? What are you good at? What's draining you? That's usually a people pleaser. Things that you're doing that are uncomfortable for you usually drain you. What's calling you forward? What keeps coming to mind that you should do, but you don't do it for some reason? Also shows you what you've outgrown and where courage is needed to look at all of these things. What's authentic? What's draining? What's calling me forward? What have I outgrown? Where do I need courage? So, when you're meditating or thinking about this, there's 3 questions. I'm always good at questions that help to awake the soul purpose. Think of it like the harvest. What's ripening within me? Think of a peach in August. It's soft, it's fragrant, it's ready. Your soul ripens too. What desires are you what desires are becoming impossible to ignore? What truths within you are becoming louder? Maybe it's the tribe you hang around with. Maybe it is an art project you've been putting off. Maybe it's a new career choice. But really ask yourself, what things keep popping up that it's not a coincidence? What truths within myself are becoming louder? And as you do that, question number 2, what must I release to grow? You have to weed, you have to trim. I don't want you to think that release is loss. You're not losing something. You're aligning it. Release is alignment. A tree sheds the fruit that is overripe. It's not waste. It's wisdom. And then the 3rd question is, where is my courage needed? Might feel a little uncomfortable, but where is my courage needed? Courage is that bridge between who you've been and who you are becoming. August, ask you to walk that bridge. This is this portal, this opening of alignment. It's not just a month. August is that spotlight, this opening, this invitation. Identify your alignment. Because when identity alignment happens for you, you're acknowledging to yourself that something is changing in me. I am not the same person that I was. I feel a tug or even a push sometimes to focus on one thing, to do more, to create something, to help someone, to change my wording, to back away. Maybe you are that person that feels like August taps you on your shoulder. And your soul, your spirit, your energy is saying, hey, you're not living in your truth. You're living somebody else's truth. You're living what someone else wants you to be. August is asking you to live to be the person that you've always been. That your soul, your spirit, your energy, your higher self knows that you are. Because when you pay attention, energetic alignment feels like a no-brainer. You feel your soul saying, I have been waiting for you to notice me and to come into alignment. And you may notice this throughout the year. Your desires intensify, your intuition gets louder, your tolerance for misalignment shrinks. spiritual timing. Your purpose within you starts to feel aligned. August pushes you to speak your truth, make the decisions that honor your path, come out of hiding, claim your abilities, your gifts, and move from thought and intention to embodiment. Yes? Purpose is not a destination. Once you get there, oh, I'm here. It's a direction. So, give you some practical ways. I'm not just going to give you this information and not help you to have tools along the way. So, things to bring into your daily life. Reflect. Use daily reflection to notice what felt aligned during the day and what felt draining. And emphasize what felt aligned and give less attention to what felt draining. 2, courage rituals. Practice small acts of courage. Do one brave thing a day. Well, how do I do one brave thing a day? Maybe you just have a conversation with someone that you've been needing to have a conversation with. Maybe you're in a grocery store and you just say good morning to someone with meaning. Because you're normally that person that just, I'm there for groceries, I'm just going to do what needs to be done. Have an act of courage. For me, it was carving out time to sit down and write. Which brings me to 3, purposeful journaling. Journal on purpose. Clarify your direction. You knew I was going to talk about journaling. Writing things down wakes up your nervous system. How many times have I said that? Instead of thoughts running around in your head and then you forget about them, if you write them down, you remember them, and if you forget them, you can go back. So, journal on purpose. 4, harvest gratitude. Practice gratitude. Acknowledge in your life where you have grown, where you were compared to where you are now, with gratitude. And even if it's not where you want to end up, be grateful for the experiences that you had, big and small, great and awful, because those moments made you who you are right now. 5, intuitive walks. Take an intuitive walk. Well, what do I mean by that? Let nature clarify your inner voice. Walk in silence. You don't need earbuds. You don't need to be thinking about the day. Just walk in silence and listen. Feel. Sense what the universe is asking you or showing you. And maybe before you start the walk, say, I'm going to be quiet so that I can see, feel, and hear what nature is saying. You'll be amazed the things that you will see that you've missed before, the things that you will hear that you've missed before, the things that you will smell that you've missed before. Because your calming walk turns into a get things done in your head chore, or a releasing the get things done. But purposefully say, I'm going to go on a walk, and I'm going to allow nature to give me clarity. So as we close, I want to leave you with a final story or a final thought. Every August can feel like you are standing at the edge of a beautiful field. You don't always know what's ahead of you. But you know you just can't stand there. You can't stay where you are. Reflect and say to yourself, August feels like the moment my soul asked me to be brave, and I can be brave. It's not just another month. It's a spiritual invitation, a spiritual spotlight that calls you to step into the fullness of who you are, to honor the truth that's ripening within you, to release what no longer fits, that rotten fruit, and to walk forward with courage of a soul that is starting or is aligned with a purpose. Your purpose is not ahead of you, it's within you. And as the sun is the hottest in August, allow that sun to begin to shine from the inside out of you. Because I know this Lionsgate portal will be a wonderful experience for you. Clarity, awakening, courage, release. And you know what? I would love to hear about what you've learned as you move through this spiritual invitation that the universe is offering to you. Be sure to email me, connectingtospiritwithstacy@gmail.com. I want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for wanting information or validation that everything is within you. You just have to let it out. Thank you for choosing to grow and to be here at Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. But thank you the most for deciding and choosing to live the life you love and love the life you live. I'll see you next week. Peace out. I love you. It's going to be great. Accept that spiritual invitation and let me know about it. I'll talk to you soon. Have a magical day. Bye-bye.